Good morning, everybody. It's 8:30. We'll call this morning's meeting of the Clay County Board of Commissioners to order for Tuesday, September 16th. First item is the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'll offer a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I will second.
Motion by Commissioner Mojo, second by Commissioner Bear. Any further discussion on the motion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Citizens to be heard. Do we have any citizens to be heard on items not on the agenda? I see none in the audience. Any online?
Nothing, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We will now move on to the approval of bills and vouchers.
Chair, I move for approval of the bills and vouchers.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Ebinger, second by Commissioner Krabenhoft. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Approval of minutes from September 2nd.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 2nd, 2025.
Second.
A motion by Commissioner Bear, second by Commissioner Ebinger. Any further discussion on the motion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. All right, our 8:35 item is request approval of resolution 2025-20 to renew the joint powers agreement court services amendment with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Good morning, Mark. Sheriff?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Commissioners, thanks for having me this morning. What this is a renewal of our contract that we currently have with the BCA and court services to allow us access to criminal justice data, their criminal justice data network. This is a contract that we renew every 5 years. It cost us for the 5 years $600. We get billed for that. I'm not requesting any additional funding for this. This is just merely a renewal of the contract to be able to access that information.
Any questions? Yes, Commissioner Mojo.
Are there any changes in the contract? And I guess the question is, do we need legal to review it? Or
Chris did go through this. We did not really see any big changes in the contract.
okay,
We looked at everything, looks good there.
thanks. With that, then I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-20.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Mojo, second by Commissioner Ebinger. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carried. All right, our next item is a request approval to enter into an agreement with SRD Towing and for towing and storage of seized vehicles. Sheriff.
Yes, currently for our seized vehicles, we have them towed up to our sheriff's office impound lot. And we're trying to move away from that now. And SRD Towing has agreed to keep 10 spots available for us for towing and storage of seized vehicles for a cost of, it would be $150 total for the storage. And sometimes we can keep these cars in their lot 6, 8, 10 months, depending on how long it takes to go through the forfeiture process. But they agree to have an amount not to exceed $150, and then they would tow that car for $90. So the total cost would not exceed $240. What would happen then, once we sold that car, we would use the proceeds from the sale of that car to pay that $240. So there would be no funds coming from our budget for that. And I'd just like to add that this is for seized vehicles only, not the abandoned vehicles or vehicles that are involved in crashes and things like that. We would still operate as we normally would with using all of our other towing vendors in the county. This contract has been reviewed by our county attorney. He had one suggestion. That suggestion was corrected and made, and this is the new contract.
All right, and Commissioner Mojo.
Thank you, Sheriff. In terms or instances where seized vehicles are returned based on whatever the court decisions are, who then would pay that fee?
That would be the owner's responsibility to pay that fee.
I have one question.
Commissioner Bear.
Is, how often and how many vehicles do we hold in a year? Is 10 spots enough?
10 spots is enough. Right now, we have 4 in our impound lot that are seized. We've got a couple others up there that we've towed that, people haven't come to get and things like that. But seized vehicles right now in our lot are 4, so 10 spots would be enough.
With that, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve to enter into agreement with SRD Towing for towing and storage of seized vehicles.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Bear, second by Commissioner Kravinoff. Any further discussion on the motion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
All right, next we have a request to approve a resolution 2025-21 to have irregular lots in Holy Cross Township platted into lots. And I believe we are going to have Mr. Eric Dodds joining us online in case there's questions from him.
Perfect. Eric, can you hear us?
Eric, can you hear us? He's not muted, is he? Eric?
We can't hear you, Eric.
No, Eric, we do not hear you. All right, Kimberly, let's start with this,
We'll
and
get
we'll
started.
see if we need anything from Eric.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Today I'm here with our County Auditor, Lori Johnson, and our County GIS Director, Mark Sloan, and we also have Eric Dodds from AE2S, hopefully with us virtually. We are here today to discuss our desire for the County Board to pass a resolution stating that it's in the county's best interest to have all sections or parts of sections that were affected by property acquisitions for the FM diversion embankment of Holy Cross Township platted into Auditor's outlots. In 2020, the Moorhead-Clay County Joint Powers Authority, began purchasing parcels of land for the FM diversion. Around 2022, there were some slight adjustments in the location of the embankment in Clay County. This led to some back and forth transfers between the MCC, JPA, and some landowners. The results of these actions became some very complicated land descriptions. When documents come in with these complicated land descriptions for recording, county staff have to review those legal descriptions often multiple times for one document. Under Minnesota statute, the county auditor has the authority to ask for an auditor's outlot plat when land is divided into parcels of irregular shape. The County Lands Record Departments met with AE2S and Diversion Authority representatives regarding these complicated land descriptions. While surveys exist for these parcels, it was determined that platting the parcels that the embankment impacts was in the best interest for the county and the landowners. This will simplify the meets and bounds legal descriptions into a lot description. Our plan is to do a separate auditor's outlot plat for each section or part of the section within Holy Cross Township where the diversion is going through. Only the parcels in the section that touch the embankment or have been bought out by the MCC, JPA, or Clay County via eminent domain will be a part of this process. The landowners affected by this plat will receive a certified letter in the mail in the very near future, notifying them that this process will change and simplify the legal descriptions of the properties, but it does not impact any ownership of those properties. There will be no cost to the landowners for this process. The cost for preparing the plat will be the responsibility of the Metro Flood Diversion Authority. After each plat is recorded, then the landowner will also receive another certified letter showing their previous abbreviated legal description and then the new abbreviated legal description for each parcel of land. With that, I'll ask if there's any questions.
Yes, Commissioner Bear.
When it comes to making the lots, are we making them big enough? I mean,
So it's not changing any, it's not changing what they currently own.
Okay.
It's just taking what they currently own and platting what their existing boundaries are into a lot.
okay,
Right, so instead of a long legal description that says all these bearings and distances, it'll just
Yep.
say Lot LA,
yep,
which, for our point of view, it's a really good thing long-term. I mean, it's quite a bit of work now, right at the front, but years from now, as these properties change hands, it's gonna make it much more cost-effective for the landowners especially.
Does this then create a whole new beginning of an abstract?
Probably not, no, because their description's not like, their property isn't changing. It may just be an update in there.
Any other questions? Has Holy Cross Township been aware of what's going on here? I guess if the landowners are okay with it, I can't imagine that the township.
We have not, there's no ownership that's changing. It's just simply changing their legal description. So we have not done anything, notification to the township, because it's not going through the regular platting process. It's going through under the Lori's authority under Minnesota statutes to have an auditor's plat done.
Okay, all right. Lori, you're good with this?
Yep, I am.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner
And
Marshall.
I know Eric's having difficulty, articulating right now with technology, but I think it's important for the whole board to know this is something that the MCCJPA had discussed and worked through, and with that, it's been advertised. It's my understanding that all of the local folks know what's going on in regards to this. It's just a means to simplify the issue.
Those letters will go out after we have the resolution approved today. And they'll go out as the plat is ready. So not every owner is gonna get that letter in the mail today, because we're gonna go, and we'll notify them as we go through the plat for their section.
Okay, yes, Commissioner Bear.
how many lots are we talking about?
Well, in the first one, maybe 20.
Yeah.
20 tax parcels maybe, and then as we go south and move towards Clay County, the diversion's only gonna be on half of the section, so it'll be a lot less per plat.
So, but does this resolution cover all of them?
Yes, that's, in my wording of it, that was my intent, was to cover all sections.
All
There'll
the
be
way down
5.
to the county line?
Yep.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Then we'd be looking for a motion to approve Resolution 2025-21.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-21 to have all irregular lots in Holy Cross Township platted into lots.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That's a unanimous affirmative. So, thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Mark.
Thank
Lori.
you. Thanks, Eric.
All right, next we have a request approval to hire a communications coordinator. Mark, are you handling this one?
I will talk about this one, yes.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Our communications coordinator has tendered her resignation. She's moving to another place in the state of Minnesota, and we wish her the very best. Since we've had a communications coordinator, we've done, I think we've done a lot of really good things, and I think that the job itself it's a good thing for Clay County as far as the things we can do. However, at this time, I'm going to recommend that we do not fill this position and we leave it open for the rest of this year and all of next year. We'll revisit it again next summer when we're doing the budgets and seeing how things look, but until then, we'll let the position stay open. One of the questions you might ask, I actually got asked in the hallway was, why am I here if I don't want to fill it? I guess one of the reasons is I want your input. I'm looking for some from the leadership, whether I'm doing the right thing, and I just want to make sure that we're going down the path that we'd like to go down, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Well, I'll start. I support what you're saying here. I think it's no secret that this year we're struggling with our proposed budget for 2026. It's extremely high, and we're any avenue that we can find. Certainly, it's I don't take this as anything lightly on the work that Jackie has done. She was tremendous. But I think that, you know, our communications area is still in good hands. And I think it just allows us an opportunity this year to really help with how we're struggling with this budget. And we've had some discussions here about, things being so bad is that, could we end up potentially having hiring freezes and so some of these things that we can do ahead of that to help out is really good. Right. So that's my opinion.
And one comment I may have for Mr. Chair was, I asked myself as a department, I said, if the chairman asks me, what taxpayer services are not going to happen if we don't have a person in this job? And the answer is none. We're still going to provide the services we provide to our citizens. We're still going to do all the things we need to do as a county. We just may not do them in the same manner, but we'll still get it done. So that's one of the reasons I'm okay with that.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Mojo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm really excited for Jackie and her family. It's a really amazing opportunity. And one thing that's amazing really about the work that Jackie did is she created a platform in which we communicate better. That was what we heard from residents when we decided to go forward with that is how can we articulate to the community services that are available and where does one go to find information, and she really set that platform so we have a framework to move forward and have really changed the way in which we communicate to residents, and I really praise her for that. That was really great. I appreciate also that we're trying to be modest in how we spend money, particularly in the area of staffing. And our number one goal is to provide high quality service to the residents, and I think we'll continue to do that. But also feel it's appropriate to maybe take pause and reflect where we are allocating funds.
All right, Commissioner Ebinger.
Yeah, Mark, I appreciate the fact that you and your team are willing to step up. And I feel assured from what you're saying that we're not going to have something slide off the table that we need to have there for the citizens. But this is it's the most difficult budget time that I've had in the 5 years I've been here. And when department directors like you come forward with doing something like this is going to save us from having to be in a position of cutting filled positions and of cutting back on services that directly impact on what we bring to our citizens. So I'm grateful for what you're doing here, and I agree with it. And Jackie will be missed. She's been a great employee. And I know she and her husband are going to go, and this is going to be a good move for them too. So thank you.
All right. I know that you're talking about, just keeping this open and not dealing with it for 2025 or 2026. And I know your area had been recently restructured, and I think it will allow a little bit of time to see how that restructuring worked, and maybe in the future, that open position might, just based on the way things move in government, that maybe it can end up being something different than what you currently see.
Absolutely, yes.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So, okay.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to deny the request to.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to deny the request to hire communications coordinator. Is there any further discussion? Motion was made by Commissioner Mojo, second by Commissioner Ebinger. Any further discussion? I just want to point out too that when we did all this, our person sitting here today, who's kind of handles all of our meetings, really has been instrumental in, I think, in also allowing this to happen. And I just don't want to go without recognizing the work Sarah has been doing too with it. That kind of all fits into this whole area, so. So with that, if there's no other discussion, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, next we have, well, we gotta wait till 9 for that one. Okay, so, yeah, well, we still gotta wait till 9. It's,
Public meeting.
oh, is Joe out there? Okay. All right. Let's,
Mr. Chair, I could do number 12 if,
okay, yeah, let's do item number 12, yeah.
good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Thank you for being here today. It is really a culmination of a year of discussion by this board as you have taken a more active role in St. Paul over the last few legislative sessions. Both commissioners and county personnel have spent additional time traveling to advocate for the needs of both our county, our region, and our state. The distance between St. Paul and the commitment that it takes to have a constant presence has created many challenges in trying to secure funding. And roughly a year ago, this board began to consider the need for a lobbyist to lift up your priorities and have a consistent voice when we can't be in St. Paul. On August 19th, the commission asked that Commissioner Mojo, Commissioner Kravanaugh provide guidance to administration in exploring options for a lobbyist, providing up to potentially $40,000 for the remainder of 2025 and looking for a contract into 26. In exploring the options this morning, we're bringing you a proposal for your consideration from Winthrop and Weinstein out of Minneapolis. In your board packets, you have both the proposal and background information on the firm and what we can expect. While our conversations have been with Thomas Hansen, Winthrop and Weinstein have a team that will carry out our work. The proposal before you in the packet is for a flat rate of $4,000 per month or $48,000 on an annual basis. As part of that contract, this would provide us legislative strategy development. As we go into each session, it would provide lobbying and advocacy and monitoring of the legislative session. It would help with bill drafting, testimonies when needed. And again, I think looking at the benefit of the relationships in this situation, Commissioner Mojo and Commissioner Kravanaugh have worked closely with this firm as they partner with the Fargo-Moorhead Chamber. And so one of in exploring some of the costs and the lobbyist options, one of the benefits of working with this particular lobbyist firm is because our commissioners have been working so closely with the chamber, they're up to speed on where we are from a legislative request. And so I think that in talking with them, we felt a good relationship was there. They're familiar with our situation. The experience that Mr. Hansen and his staff have, I think, will benefit us a great deal. And so with that, I would yield for any questions.
All right, Commissioner Bear.
Is that $4,000 all in, or are we gonna get nickeled and dimed for every little thing?
There is, I mean, there are additional transportation and other fees that come with it. But for the most part, I mean, this is going to be the majority of that.
Is this contract for a 12-month period? Or is it just month to month?
So it would, it would be up to this board's guidance. The proposal is for an annual basis. If you were to move forward and approve the proposal, I would then go back and have a contract established that I would bring back to this board. So you could essentially establish what you would like as far as the terms.
And I know there's other questions, but so in some previous actions, our board took the opinion that we needed some help starting this fall, right? So we kind of gave some leeway there to dollars there. So it seems to me that I would certainly support us entering into a contract that takes us throughout 2025 and all of 2026. I mean, that's probably a good place for us to start. I don't know that it should just be open-ended forever. But I think that, you know, and I just want to point out, you know, obviously we have key projects that in Clay County that are really important to us that we go into St. Paul for support. And not only are those important, but everyday legislation that St. Paul does can have an impact on us at the county level. And so I think it's really important. So these people that we're hiring, it's not just for a couple of individual projects. It's really keeping us informed as to what proposals are going on there, how changes might be made, how they might impact us, not only from a service standpoint, but also from a cost standpoint. And so I think this is a really good investment. I certainly appreciate this past year, the work that Commissioner Mojo and Krabanoff did. I think in some ways, I think it took away from some of their time here, that wasn't by their doing, but it was, we asked them to do it. So I think this is probably a good deal to do. So Commissioner Krabanoff.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I strongly agree with what you just proposed, that we would work through the years 24, 26 with a contract with them. I guess knowing Tom's son, having spoke with him when we were down in St. Paul, and just hearing his background, seeing the team that is proposed to help us, as you mentioned. It's not just about the PRTF or the diversion, it can be many other things, and they have a team that can serve a wide background. So just a lot of confidence right here, and not only does it help Commissioner Mojo and I mean, it relieves our administrator too, and there's a big cost for his work.
Sure.
And I think it more than offsets what they're asking. And I think it brings confidence to us when we're down there, because we're with a key player in our efforts, talking with them and legislator at the same time, knowing when we leave we have follow-up immediately.
Commissioner Mojo.
Thank you. To answer Commissioner Bear's question on 124 or 125 of the packet, it talks about the proposed fee structure and basically that the additional components will be billed on a 30-day piece. But what's important about that is having them represent the Fargo-Moorhead Chamber as well as us. You know, I think we can get more money per trip, really, because they'll be able to work hand in hand with them on that. And I also think it's really important to articulate that they have already lobbied for both of our two legislative priorities. I think that really helps get hit the ground running, for lack of a better term, when we're all Vikings, and the Vikings aren't doing that this year. But I think it's really important because we save some significant time, and time is money in that arena. I'll also say that 3 out of the 4 folks that are represented in the portfolio, I worked hand in hand and am on a very first name basis, and they're very aware of what Clay County's doing, and those relationships are really pivotal to really advocate for what we're needing. I just also want to say that I'm really grateful that the board is working towards something like this. I think it all helps us all do our jobs better, but particularly our administration staff. There was a lot of time that was spent after hours and early mornings in regards to preparing information for either testimony or conversations, and I think it will overall help what we're doing. As we know that we are looking at significant cost shifts that were proposed in the governor's budget, and to even have an additional voice for those pieces will help us tenfold.
All right. Any other discussion? I guess I would certainly encourage us to take a look at approving Winthrop and Weinstein for a period from effective, I don't know, we're kind of in mid-month here, any from now on through 2026. I guess that's what I would suggest that we do.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Ebinger.
I'll make that motion, enter into an agreement with Winthrop and Weinstein, starting as soon as a contract can be arranged and through 2026.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Ebinger and second by Commissioner Kravinoff. Any further discussion on the motion? And again, I think we've kind of, we're looking at the funding of this for 2026 as part of our economic development funds even. We're kind of trying to incorporate that, so this particular hire, based on our informal discussions we've had, is not an increase to our levy. This is gonna be using some shifting of dollars to, for this particular expense. So any further discussion? So with that, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, at this point in time, it's 9:02, so we are in line for our public hearing. And the public hearing is for Scott DAHMS petition for text amendment to the Clay County Land Development and Subdivision Ordinance. Do we have a motion to open the hearing?
So offered.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Mojo, second by Commissioner Bear. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. Good morning. Matt, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. So just a request, I think we would need to postpone this until October 7th if possible. Some things have come up with Mr. DAHMS, and if we can postpone it until then, until that's all sorted out, would really appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Commissioner Mojo.
Thank you. Postponement would keep us within that window of act for the Planning Commission, correct?
We would just need to provide a kind of a written statement to Mr. DAHMS saying that we're postponing this until this date.
So it was not something requested by him, it's something that,
It was something that he said he could not make it today, so, yep.
all right, well, since if it results in no penalty, I would support a delay. I mean, I think we have to come out of the hearing, but.
All right, Brian, any thoughts on this?
October 7th. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to make the October 23rd, or the September 23rd meeting, and then September 30th being the fifth Tuesday.
All right, so technically, do we just recess this public hearing until that date? Because we've already opened it? All right, so if that's okay with the board then, is that? So basically, the public hearing will stay open until,
Then I'll make a motion to recess the public hearing until October 6th at 9 o'clock in the morning.
7th. Yep.
October 7th till 9 a.m.
okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Sarah, time-wise, are we, is there anything that you have for us now on the calendar that would interfere with that 9 o'clock time? Have you got anything scheduled for that time? Okay.
I just have a question.
Yes.
In regards to noticing, how then do we notice to the public that it's been delayed?
We can certainly renotice again, but just because this meeting was noticed, and then we have discussed a specific date and time when it would take place again, I don't think we'd need to renotice again.
Well, and there was a public hearing at the planning commission.
Correct.
Right.
And I think since the public hearing's open here, I mean, the public should be here, it was advertised, they should know of it from being here if they were interested, and then know of the new date. So I don't think there's any requirement to put anything new out specifically.
All right, we have a motion and a second to recess this public hearing until 9 a.m. October 7th.
Correct.
Commissioner Kravinoff.
So it doesn't affect any 60-day window?
No, it would not, because we can provide a written request or a written notice that we are extending that period. That can be extended up to 120 days.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
All right, any further discussion of the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. All right, this public hearing is in recess till October 7th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. All right, next we have a request for approval to replace air conditioning unit in the joint highway facility. Good morning, Joe.
Morning, Mr. Chair, board members. All right, so working with both the city of Moorhead and MnDOT, we had the unfortunate event of the air conditioning unit going out that serves the joint facility. And we've worked all three together and found the unit that we need. It is a little bit of a lead time here, but we would like to get approval to go ahead and replace that. The county share would be $17,682. We'd be funding that out of Fund 19 capital fund, and just to note, this was on our capital plan. It just had advanced a couple years, and here we are. So with that, I would request that we move forward and we allow Dakota Plains Mechanical to replace the unit, and our share would be $17,682. MnDOT and the city of Moorhead has approved this project as well under their budgets. So.
And just a point, the building committee had reviewed this and discussed this and recommended approval as well. Any further discussion?
I just want to thank our staff. I know that it was a warm summer and there was some days that weren't necessarily super comfortable over there. So
Yep.
I appreciate staff's patience while we work to correct this issue.
Yes, we have some temporary cooling units out there. They don't make it perfect, but the staff has been great, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Mojo, second by Commissioner Bear. Any further discussion on the motion?
One comment?
Yes, Commissioner Bear.
How far out are we now?
We're probably still 10 weeks out
All right.
or so.
It's getting cool.
With the cooler weather, we're good. We should start being, right now, we're not still good, but once that frost hits, everything will be fine there, but we definitely need it for next year anyway.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Motion carried. All right, thank you, Joe.
Okay, next one is,
Oh, yeah, you got the next item, don't you?
I got a few. Yep.
Okay, request for approval of the amended agreement between the Department of Corrections and Clay County.
Okay, so this one here, if you recall, a few weeks back, we entered into an agreement with the Department of Corrections to rent some space at the courthouse here as part of our Justice Center plan. Talking with Dale Arnold, they needed an additional small little space to house the ISO program through DOC, and we did some reorganizing down in the basement, and we were able to open up a storage room that had never really it functioned as a storage room, but it did open up, and we're proposing to rent that as well. Dale said that'll work just fine, and with that, if you do approve this, it would be an added amount of $4,641 revenue per year. And we had visited with Brian Milton, the attorney, to just make sure there wasn't any impacts with their area down there, and he's good with it too. So.
All right. Commissioner Bear.
This also went through the building committee with approval.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the amended agreement between the DOC and Clay County, lease number 12619.
I will second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Ebinger, second by Commissioner Bear. Any further discussion on the motion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. All right, next we have a request approval for an amended agreement between Clay County and Productive Alternatives.
Yes, so this one is, the history on this one, we're talking of two small offices in the Family Service Center on the third floor, known as 307 and 310. Just the history on this, Public Health was using these two offices during the time that they really needed that expanded for their staff. We since had finished the second floor remodel project for them. They've moved in, and I've talked with Kathy McKay, and she's determined we no longer need those two spaces. And Productive Alternatives works, intertwines with social services and the SEP program and everything else, and they're right next to those two offices and have needed this space for years. So we had a discussion on if this would be a good move, and with this, we would have an additional $5,546.25 revenue to the county. So, questions for me on this one?
Any questions? Yes, Commissioner Kravinoff.
I noted as we read it, it's only for 1 year.
Yeah, and the reason being is they have the current contract with us, and so how we were going to do it is we amended it into this. The building committee is looking at, I guess we don't want to say rental increases, but we're seeing it where we are in line with that. So we would take this year and have them have that space. They do know that we are looking at where we should be as far as increases or not. So we just need that time to play out and work with the building committee to see where that comes.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Bear.
This also went through the building committee with approval, so. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the amended between Clay County and Productive Alternatives.
A second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bear, second by Commissioner Kravinoff. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. All right, next we have a request to approve to fill the Facilities Administrative Assistant position.
Yeah, so last week I'd received notice from Betty. She is planning to retire. She has worked hard her whole life and definitely deserves it. So about mid-December, she will be retiring. And so with that, just to explain a little bit, any kind of administrative work does flow through her. And she is in control of the mail room, which is provides central services for Clay County. And then obviously her role does support my role. So there is a cost breakdown there that is provided here. And I guess within 2026, there would be a small savings with the replacement. So questions for me on this? So.
Questions?
Well, I just have to smile a little bit at all her great service over the years. And what a wonderful person, and it's just all the events, all the, lunches, and all the, I just hear from everybody what a great communicator she was, and how things were asked, they were just done.
Right.
So it can be hard to replace.
Yep, extremely accurate, and she caught my mistakes, so. I'll just say it right like that. But.
Oh, I'll make a motion. Motion to fill the Facilities Administrative Assistant position.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I just have one comment, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner.
I think we should start looking at every position that comes here and see if we need it or not need it to try to get this budget in line. So that's just the only comment I have.
Joe, do we need it?
We do. I mean, if you're asking me, I certainly could come and make a good case for that.
And Mr. Chair, what I would say is if this board recalls, for several years, we went without someone in that room. It's not only does she do the work with Joe, but she handles a lot of the fleet vehicles and keys, and so not having that position was somewhat problematic, and so I was pleased when the board did this. I would.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same?
Aye.
Okay, we have, motion carried.
Mr. Chair, I wanted to just jump a little more off what Commissioner Kravenow said. Thank you to Betty. She's been my partner in crime, and I'm very happy for her, so just wanted to tell her that directly.
All right, very good. All right, we will take a 5-minute break. All right, we are back in session. We will proceed to item number 13 on the agenda, and that is a request approval of resolution 2025-22, requesting permission to set the 2026 preliminary levy. Mr. Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you're well aware, this budget process started back in May with department heads getting their budget packets, preparing their proposed budgets for you to consider. Ms. Johnson collected all of those in the first week of July, compiled the request both for the in-county departments and also non-county levy requests. Budget presentations came before this board, and in addition, we had multiple discussions where you provided guidance, targets, and directions, culminating with the work session that we had this past Tuesday. As was mentioned earlier in this board meeting, this has been one of the more challenging budget cycles that we've had, with the cost shifts both on the state and federal level and the uncertainty of going into the 26th legislative session. I want to thank the board for the direction and guidance in this process to get us to where we are. And I know that I'll just start by saying I know this is not a spot that you want to be in, nor is it a spot that we'll likely be in come December, but would like to bring your attention to the summary of the 26 tax levy by fund and go through there. And as we've talked about, if there's any questions, comments that you'd like to make along the way, please jump in. As you recall, when that culmination was first brought together in July with the budget was put together, the board received information of a 12.75% net levy increase, to which you said that's not acceptable. We did some additional work and came back roughly 2 or 3 weeks ago. That had gotten down to 9.47%, which again was not acceptable in the board's eyes, and so we ended up having a work session that came out with this information as part of the levy by funds. The general revenue fund proposed next year is $30,697,105. Again, the majority or a good portion of that provides is our staffing, but also the different costs associated with the overall government and operations. We saw a 5.24% increase from last year. Road and Bridge Fund, again, is based on the projects that we have as part of our 5-year plan, and funding is generally received through the state to provide these, so it's an in and out number, but it's $5,612,566. Our building fund, to which Joe utilizes to keep our buildings up to date, is $50,000. That stayed flat. The library library proposed request is $349,209. That was one of the areas that we addressed during our work session. The initial request was $362,690. That was a 9% increase down to a 5% increase. And debt retirement, last year we had the interest payment. This year is the first year we have both the principal and interest payment. And so the proposed principal interest payment for next year is $553,901. The other debt retirement area has to do with our projects that we did on over a 7-year bond to try to get ahead of some of the different projects we had and save money at the same time. Our principal interest payment for next year is $525,788. Social service fund is $15,745,593. That's a 5.52% increase. A significant amount of the money, as we've talked about during this budget process here, comes to the shifts that we saw. Quinn and his staff have done an amazing job in adjusting some of their budgets. Otherwise, this could have been certainly a higher request. That brings a total tax levy of $53,534,162, or a 5.82% increase. This is down from 7.84% 2 weeks ago. In our new requests next year, again, this board has asked our departments to limit their new requests. And before you, in consideration as part of this budget, is $129,681 in new requests. We're looking to utilize $834,232 of fund balance from previous revenues to lower the total levy. We are also fortunate as part of this budget cycle to receive a contract next year where we saw a 12% decrease in our health insurance, and that saved $403,475. Right now we have a 3% COLA that's built into this budget. That's $1,331,536, with a total levy increase of, our total number at $53,757,671, or a 6.27% increase. This is down from 8.93% from our previous tax levy by fund. When we look at county program aid is what the legislature provides all counties. That as a county we utilize as tax relief for all of our citizens. Unfortunately, this year we did see a slight decrease of right around $200,000. So we have $5,524,595. With that, it offsets our spread levy to $48,233,076, or a 7.5% increase. New construction, we're looking at a 1.04. We generally are in between that 1.04 to 1.25. And that takes our net levy increase of what you would be considering today at 6.46%. And with that, Board, I would yield for any questions.
One of the questions I've never asked before, but when we take a look at the new construction, don't we also relieve that new construction? Don't we have some incentives that the 2 years?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we do have a 2-year tax abatement that's captured within the economic development section of our budget. So.
Okay. So that expenditure is built into the.
That's correct.
And then one other question that I have, and it's not for this year, but the debt retirement for the DMV, we've been having some conversations about when the state's going to move in. Do we know any more on that? Steve, I know there was some discussion about them maybe getting there earlier than originally anticipated.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Joe has been working with the state leasing agent. The state testing is currently in a 5-year lease. They are coming to the end of that. I believe that they have one more year. Next year is their final year. And so we've been actively working with them to try to help them find additional space. The challenging part gets to be is in a state lease, only another state entity can take over the space. And so we're pretty restricted on being able to work. So it's looking like more 2027 is going to be the year that they'll be joining us at the DMV.
All right. Questions?
One question.
Yes, Commissioner Bear.
For debt retirement county projects, when does that bond end up being off the books?
Oh, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, I think we had a 7-year bond. I want to say that we have 3 more years left, but I can confirm that with you, for you guys all.
All right, any other questions? Comments? Commissioner Mojo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One, I just really want to give a huge appreciation, Steve, Lori, all of the staff departments that have really been modest in what they're requesting, analyzing their departments to find where we could actualize some cost savings, if you will. I just want to remind the public of what we were facing in February when the governor's proposed budget came out. We were looking at a 6.9% increase in regards to what those unfunded mandates were going to be locally. We're still probably sorting through and identifying where those are. There are some that are still in here. You know, I'm really concerned about what the status of those shifts will continue to mean for counties. This is not a sustainable form of government. Really, it's tricky. We're hearing from residents that the tax burden is continuing to rise. I'm happy to say in what most of this budget is we are prioritizing what the locally needed and wanted projects are. We're hearing from a lot of residents about wanting to make sure that their roads are continued to have upkeep at a level in which they expect, and that our sheriff's department is funded with extra deputies on the road, especially in the rural areas. And we're doing that in this budget. We're going to be uphill in regards to finding more cost savings, and this board is committed to that. But I am happy to note that what we thought we were going to be at in early February, March, this request today is less than what that increase was going to be. It only speaks to what the continued need for us to be present at tables where legislative actions will continue to shift enormous costs onto us, historic really. But you know, we can't undercut what the need is in staffing and fair wages, and I think we're trying to do that in the most cost conservative way.
Commissioner Ebinger.
Yeah, we just all came, and it'll be in our reports, we came back from the AMC policy meeting last week, and we need to brace ourselves for at least the next couple of years. The cost shifts that Commissioner Mojo spoke of are not as bad. They're not good at all, but they're not as bad as we anticipated, but they will come. We are one of 10 states that puts responsibility in areas like corrections, social services, a number of areas, DMV. The responsibility goes from the state to the counties, and very often with mandates requiring what we have to do and what we have to expend to get there. Of late, a lot of those mandates are coming unfunded. So we're having to stretch the budget as far as we can, and we need a presence at the legislature during the session. That's why I am glad, and it's a wise expenditure, that we are getting a lobbyist who understands our needs up there. And I want to thank Commissioner Mojo and Commissioner Kramanoff for being there, being present, and giving us a voice up there this session. But in sessions to come, it's going to take more than that. So I think this is a good start-off point. But it's going to be a couple of years minimum before we can let up and count on not getting some surprises out of St. Paul. Thanks.
Although this proposed levy has certainly come down quite a bit, as Commissioner Mojo said, from where we started. I'm certainly, personally, I'm disappointed in the number, not from anything that everybody has done to try to bring it down. A lot of it goes to what has been said at the state level. I'll support the preliminary levy, but I just really struggle. Commissioner Mojo brought up a component that I think our board has always tried to be very fair on, and that is treating our employees well, and that's first and foremost. They're the boots on the ground for everything that we do. Having said that, all we can do is look back to see how much our amount of staff has grown over the last few years. It's significant, and again, that goes to my concern about where that leads to on the property tax and to our elderly people and people on fixed income who have a difficult time paying these increased costs. So come December, my vote might be different if this stays where it's at, but I certainly will support it. I just want to touch a little bit base. I agree with Commissioner Ebrigo when he said, I don't think we've seen anything yet from what the state level is doing. I think all indications are they've been warning us, fasten your seatbelts for what's about, what to come, that we can expect some more hard times. And unfortunately, if they're going to shift that responsibility from theirs to us, we might have to be looking at things that we did several years ago, and that's, maybe having to have waiting lists for services, because we just don't have an endless supply of taxpayer dollars that can go towards it. But those are conversations that'll happen in the coming years. But anyway, again, thanks Steve and Lori and everybody else for the work that you've done to get it to where it is today. So, Commissioner Bear.
I'm also in favor of setting the preliminary budget at 6.46, but come December, I'm hoping we chisel that number down quite a bit more, but we'll see. The state and federal mandates are crushing us on this, and hopefully we can get it figured out with the feds and state, but social services, if they keep pushing those mandates down on us, that department will see its 5.52 increase this year. That'll be double digits increases if we continue doing this from the state and feds. So hopefully we can get the state and feds to figure it out and quit pushing all those unfunded mandates down on us.
All right. Commissioner Krabanoff.
Yeah, thank you for all the comments ahead of my speaking here, but I too will support 6.27. I think we're all together in this, that we will continue to look areas for efficiencies and how what services can be contained. I too embrace making sure that we work well with our employees, keep a committed culture that we have. And so as we look at our budgets, we have to make sure that it aligns with the services mandated, keeping a healthy employed group, and just finding all those efficiencies. I put a lot of confidence in our directors that they are in fact finding and helping us lower this. So I don't think there's a lot of fat out there, if any, but do we want the number lower? Yes. But, you know, we'll keep working at it over the next month here. And also I want to mention, you know, we do fund external agencies, and we're holding, you know, our plan is holding those or reducing them, those numbers. Not a lot of requests had increases, but we're gonna, you know, one of the ways is holding things steady, and, you know, that puts pressure on them too, because, you know, their funding sources are probably being, you know, restricted as ours are. So with that, I just want to make the comment that I support the preliminary levy also.
All right. Steve, any more comments?
No, I appreciate the board's comments. Again, I appreciate your direction. I also appreciate the comments identifying our staff. We a little biased, but we have the best staff and that leadership starts with this board and providing the guidance and direction, and they carry out that. And so we're fortunate to have the group of staff that we do, and appreciate your support of them. So that's it. And we will continue, as was mentioned, we are going to continue to work between now and December to adjust that 6.46 to get a lower number, which can get the board's full support.
I did have one more question that I thought of when I was at home, and a question maybe for Lori. The proposed COLA that we have out there, for a lot of those employees who in our social services department, we're able to get back 50% of that. Was that additional revenue put into our current budget?
Yeah, that's automatically calculated.
Okay. Very good. I just wanted to make sure of that. So. All right, well, Steve is asking us for a request to approve the resolution 2025-22.
Make a motion to approve the resolution 2522, establishing the certified 2026 preliminary levy at 6.27, or as was presented.
I believe we would be the
It's in there.
6.46.
Pardon?
6.46.
I think it would be the 6.46.
Excuse me, 6.46. Apologize.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Krabanoff, second by Commissioner Abinger. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Krabbenhoft,
Aye.
Commissioner Mojo,
Aye.
Commissioner Campbell,
Aye.
Commissioner Bear,
Aye.
Commissioner Ebinger.
Aye.
All right. Preliminary levy is now set at 6.46%, and the final to be determined in December.
Thank you.
And thank you, Steve. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, everybody else who worked on it to get to this level. All right, we'll move into committee reports. I believe Commissioner Krabanoff, you're first today.
All right, just a couple items, meetings. All right, so last Tuesday on the 9th, I had the Moore Planning Commission meeting. The meeting mainly entailed a change of some of the text amendments as they're going through their development codes and their districts, so they were in the areas of mixed-use districts and other regulations regarding off-street parking and the zoning map. They also appointed their a person that we would appoint to the council for the Moore Wellhead Protection Team. and that would be Robert Siegel from Ward 4. And then we sent out the updates to the, for the area of January to August 2025 of their comprehensive plan, which is a big document. The September 10th through the 12th, I was part of the AMC Fall Policy Conference held in Alexandria. I really thought our public forum, to the whole group was really grounded. It was good to hear we had 3 legislature opening the session, and hearing the number one, I guess you could feel it with them, with the assassination that took place and the other threats to other people in office. Certainly they're shook by that, and having St. Paul have to look at, greater security around the Capitol and how we meet them may be a little different than it looked before, but we'll see where that goes. Other than that, the big part of my area is public health and human services. We went through our wins from last year, and probably the biggest win that we had was toward those social services and the fact of our computer systems, the SSIS, and getting, will probably be bringing those, the way we send our information from the counties to the state is a very antiquated system that will probably take $150 million to fix or really get it to where it needs to be, but there was $35 million that was part of the budget, or the was approved in law last year, so that money's going out. Other than that, our main priorities, I think, really centered around, again, high acuity, which fits with our priorities here, and then also the group is also looking to make some amendments, modifications to the 2024 African American Family Preservation and Child Welfare Disproportionate Act. That's a mouthful, but it has a lot of good measures in it, but there's just been some things within it for practical reasons they want to see if we can get some reforms. That's my report for the week.
Thank you. Commissioner Mojo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last week I attended the board, the work session after board with all of you. Thanks to the chair for holding that. I think it was really helpful as we sorted through the budget and tried to find savings as we could. The next day I attended the Association of Minnesota Counties Board of Directors. We had a lot of presentations from all of the premier business partners. Appreciate all of those folks that have bought into that. It keeps our dues down. A long discussion on the newly formed Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families Intergovernmental Advisory Committee, and then had reports from all of the folks as we wrap up, really sorting through what the legislative session was. It sounds like there will be a special session, so staff is working on being prepared for that. That evening, I attended the Minnesota Rural Counties meeting, really a great opportunity to have some back and forth dialogue with Representative Wiener, who came to present to us about legislative actions. He received a earful from a lot of folks because we are facing what we just got done talking about, historic cost shifts and how can we work together to be part of the solution. I appreciate our presence at that board. They were really represented well by Capitol Hill lobbyists there. So that was a good meeting. The next day I had the research committee meeting. We talked about doing some work to gather information for counties. Counties are requesting itemized lists on all of the mandates so that they can work through their budgets in a timely way. So staff is working on getting that gathered for the conference. Our Environment and Natural Resources Policy Committee was really important. We sorted through, we did have great presentations from Bowser and DNR and MPCA and all of the big partners. With that, our legislative priority is really, it should only be one, because we know that there are policy committees that have far larger budget implications, but solid waste is our number one priority. What counties are seeing in regards to reduced SCORE funding allocations and demo landfill challenges and all of the challenges that we've digested over the last year. That's why that rose to the number one piece, and then the water quality piece is number two. So we did send those forward as our policy platforms. And then also appreciate the ability to attend that conference. I think having all of the representatives and Senator Rasmussen there to really be part of a conversation, to help us through those things. I would say the grief among all of those representatives is palatable. With all of the violence towards elected officials, it was, I think, really heartwarming to see folks that really differ in a broad spectrum of ranges, both conservative and liberal, coming together to find solutions. And so, working through their grief to find solutions for all of us is really important, and I appreciate their presence there. And then lastly, we had the NACO presentation on what the SNAP cost shifts will mean for counties. More to come on that one in 26, I think. And then finally, I was approached, the Northern Counties Caucus has been something that's been really instrumental. They led the cause in the work for the tax forfeiture work group. Jack Swanson, and then Commissioner McDonald from Duluth really would like Clay County to be part of that. The dues are $2,000, but the membership for the first year is free. I think Steve has more information on that, but their work alone on tax forfeiture would have paid for our dues in that for a significant amount of years. So more to come on that in 26 maybe, but that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Bear.
Last Tuesday, I was also at the work group session with all of you to talk about the budget. We did some good work there. And then on Thursday, Friday, I was down at the Fall Policy Conference down in Alexandria with all of you. And I sit on the Transportation and Infrastructure Policy Committee. And on Thursday, we had a great update from MnDOT and broadband access speakers. And then on Friday, we had more Transportation Infrastructure Policy Committee, where we set our priority settings, and our priority that we passed was, I'll read it. AMC supports a bonding bill that includes funding for transportation-related programs, including the local road improvement program, the local bridge replacement program, the local government road wetland replacement program, and the busway capital development program. So we passed that on to our December meeting. And we also had another update that day also from MnDOT state agency updates and the session review. Those are all my reports, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Ebinger.
Thank you. On the 16th, I also attended our work session. It's gratifying that when times are getting a little close in trying to figure these things out on how to pay the bills for the county, that our commissioners can work together. And it is gratifying that you don't see reflected in a lot of the discourse in other places that here. And I appreciate my colleagues and the approach they take. On Wednesday through Friday, I attended the AMC Fall Conference. I'll limit my comments to the general sessions were good and informative for us, but I'll limit mine to the Public Safety Policy Committee, which I serve. We had on Thursday, we had some presentations on pension panel for probation and telecommunication employees in the state. This would be something to supplement keeping them in their career fields. The pension that is directed to law enforcement is desirable, and this would be part of that. We had a presentation from Ramsey County Emergency Management Director on FEMA overview on some of the policy shifts at the federal level that are going to impact on states. And I will be frank, it is disturbing. I am never been so grateful for the Diversion Authority, because in this part of the state, our major threat comes from flooding, and the response that we've had in past years from FEMA is not something we can expect anymore. The federal government is not responding to natural disasters lately in a manner that has become traditional and that people expect. So we need to be prepared for, if these things happen, as a community and as a state, we're on our own. Also, a presentation on weather radar gaps and some things that are being done there. We had on Friday, we set our public policy safety priorities. And the three of them, the first, or the one at the top of our list, these are not in rank order, but it's going to be AMC supports significant long-term investment in secure regional mental health treatment facilities for adults and juveniles. During our conversation on this, our leader of our public safety committee, he got a text, and it was from the leader of Commissioner Krabanoff's group saying, "Are you guys talking about mental health facilities?" And he smiled, and he asked me after our meeting that Commissioner Mojo, Commissioner Krabanoff, and Steve present the same presentation they did a year ago to the Public Safety Committee in our December conference. And I would suggest, Paul, maybe you get a hold of your AMC rep and talk to them about maybe we can make it joint, because this is something that is a priority. I have never seen, other than we had the law enforcement issues that we had a couple years ago where police weren't getting, we had broke up our mutual response in this community. I've never seen the commissioners that are in my committee as passionate. We're sick of it. And this is an answer to a lot of the problems that we're dealing with, is our communities need mental health residential facilities, and we've got one that's sitting here shovel ready. So I think that's something we really need to pursue. The other issues that we brought up, if I can took a picture of the slide. We're supporting the Minnesota Community Supervision pursuant to Minnesota Statute 401.10 for single funding formula to deliver core supervision services. We had an uncomfortable surprise on what it's costing us for community corrections this year, and it looks like it's coming next year. And there will be conversations on that in the future. We're going to have to either be prepared to pay a lot more money or come up with maybe a different approach. And the last is we're going to continue to support rural ambulance systems in the state. And that's going to be statewide. The legislature has responded, and the governor with some token financial support, but it's not enough to keep these services running, and there's going to have to be an identification of consistent funding for them. And that completes my report.
All right, thank you. On Tuesday, the 9th, I want to just thank everybody for attending the afternoon work session that we had. I think we were able to gain a little bit of ground on what we did today on the preliminary levy. On September 10th and the 11th, I was at the AMC conference. Of note, the morning session on Thursday with the legislatures, I think was good. And I think they all pointed out the fact that right now the legislature is so evenly divided in the state of Minnesota that it forces them to work together. And I think that was kind of an important message that was out there, that no one side had, could just make all these demands on the other without some sort of bipartisan working together. So I thought that was really good. And then then there was another session that morning on solid waste issues. And after listening through that, I'm very thankful for what we have in Clay County. I think we're also right there leading in a lot of different ways. Probably one of the areas that we might be a little bit behind on is the organic issues that are out there. I think there's some work being done in that to prevent a lot of organics even getting to where we are with whether it's a resource recovery center or our landfill. Ultimately, what does get to our resource recovery center, probably most of those organics end up going to Perham, where they are filtered out. And what we call them, at that point in time, we call them fines. It's things that fall through our resource, or our MRF, which is a materials recovery, and then it's processed in that way. Unfortunately, I had other commitments, so I could not stay for the policy committee meetings. I do intend to be at the December conference when we make those final decisions on that. Yesterday, I spent significant time with the mayor of Fargo and our director of the Diversion Authority, going over our long-term financial plan, looking at an overview of that plan and where we stand today. There are certainly some positive components there, and there's some areas of where we need to be watching closely. But the importance is if all of the things that we're looking for in terms of state of North Dakota and state of Minnesota and the federal, if all those come through, our budget forecast will be fine. And that concludes my report. Steve?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last Tuesday afternoon, participated in the work session regarding the budget. Again, appreciate the board's willingness to have the session and work through that. Thank you to the chair for getting that scheduled. On the 10th, we had county management, talked about, again, budgets, HR updates. That afternoon, went to Alexandria with you and participated in the Legislative Policy Conference. That evening, I met with many of my peers throughout the state. I think just in the conversations that we've had, I think that the preliminary levy to which you set this morning is probably in the lower third of the state. We're seeing lots of bigger numbers and actually many counties still in double figures going into their preliminary levy. The legislative conference participated in the same open sessions as you. I sat in general government. We heard elections refresher, Minnesota assessors, the cannabis updates. Again, AMC worked hard to get cannabis tax revenue. Unfortunately, lost that to the state during this year, or I guess never got it technically. And so we heard about wind tax presentations and also data centers. Priority-wise, general government is really looking to minimize. I think usually we look to 3 to 5 priorities. They stuck in 2. Again, looking at the property tax levy and mandate relief as a priority, and also kind of switching over into human services, making sure that updating our service systems in human service are modernized. That I guess general government felt that enough was enough. We need to move forward there. So on the 12th, last Friday, met with AMC grant managers. AMC has two staff that are branching out to reach out to counties to find out different ways that they can potentially help them through grants that are available. Again, I think just another great thing that AMC provides as part of our funds that we provide them. Next Wednesday, we are fortunate to be part of the legislative House bonding tour. And so yesterday I worked with the communications department and Darren in looking at the video that we're hoping to provide them at the beginning of the presentation. And we'll be tweaking that here as the week goes on. And then just to follow up from earlier, there are 4 years that are remaining in our capital improvement bond. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Brian, anything? Darren?
A lot of the things has already been covered. I also attended the work session group on the 9th. The managers meeting, which was well covered by Steve already on the 10th. I went to the AMC policy conference as well. I was also in the general government section, and Steve covered basically all of the things that I was going to cover, so I won't bore you again with that. On the 15th, I did attend the paid leave seminar put on by the Fargo-Moorhead Chamber, and kind of giving us an update on where we are, where the state is on paid leave. We will be not taking the state plan. We do have United Healthcare, which will be providing our paid leave for next year in 2026. But a lot of the things were the same, and some good updates on the information for the paid leave that starts on January 1st. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Sarah? All right. All right, that concludes everything on our agenda. We are adjourned.